Hi folks, and welcome to my channel. Boy oh boy, I got something interactive for us today. Because today, well at least I am gonna, you're welcome to join me if you want, but we are going to try to do the Romberg Test. Named after Moritz Heinrich Romberg, a German neurologist back in the 1800s. The Romberg Test, or the Romberg maneuver, is a test used to examine neurological function for balance, but also it's something that's often used to test people, for example in situations of possible drunk driving. I will link to the Wikipedia on the Romberg test down below in the description. Fun fact, I've had to do this Romberg test actually quite a few times in the past few years. Not because I drink and drive, nope. But because I had a stupid tumor in the back of my head, right here, and it destroyed my balance organ. So if you're new here, that's what this is all about. I had a stupid tumor, it messed up my balance, it also left me deaf and with an effed up face. And I got vertigo, and today I just thought maybe I could give you guys a little peek at what that means, what that looks like. And if you want to learn more about my Acoustic Neuroma journey, I've got 2 playlists here on the channel dedicated to what I've gone through. And this video will be placed in the playlist that is labeled Stupid Tumor Stories. So if that's something you're into, check them out. Consider subscribing. I'll link to at least one of those playlists at the end of this video. And don't forget that if you want to support this channel, you can click that join button down below. You then magically become both one of my beloved members, but also one of the cool kids on the internet. It's a fact. Right, so Romberg Test. Right, so I stumbled across a video from a physical therapist where he went over 4 simple balance tests. There's a link to that video down below in the description. Let me tell you something, when a physical therapist talks, I generally listen. Since finding out I had a stupid tumor in my head and having it removed and having to deal with new disabilities and such, I've had to deal with a lot of doctors and go to a lot of different places for my issues. And if I'm dead honest, just on my own basic experience, and I'm saying this includes people like neurologists, if I'm just dead honest, the people that I found that cared the most and gave me the most useful information in regards to my balance issues were always physical therapists. So I have to say, when I came across this guy's video, I liked it because it was short, concise. He made things very clear and simple. He lays out what to do, what to look for, why. And I remember as I was listening to him talk, I have had to do these so many times, and I remembered thinking, it makes me giggle when I have to do the one where I gotta close my eyes. You'll see. But at the same time, I thought this was a good way for me to sort of show people my disability, what I'm working with over here with this vertigo that I got. So today I just thought, I'm gonna show you. And maybe I can explain, make it a little clear what my vertigo is like. It's important to say that vertigo hits different people in different ways and for different reasons. But it's always like when I tell people that I have vertigo, which means I'm dizzy, simplistically said. I always feel like they don't get it. So maybe today after this video, a few of you will get it. So I want to say, feel free to put on your favorite adult-sized onesie and join along with me. But really, only do this if you're in a safe environment. I've laid out pillows, pushed furniture back. But most importantly, I know my stupid body at this point. I know what I'm working with. I know what the risks are. And I'm a daredevil and willing to take those risks for YouTube. But seriously, if you're frail, or you have balance problems, or you're not feeling good, or you have any chance of hurting yourself, don't do this at home. And if you're watching this because you seem to be having balance issues, well, please, go to a doctor. Not YouTube. If your balance is wanky, go and talk to your GP, or here in Germany they call it a Hausarzt. You also may want to consider an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and you may end up visiting a neurologist. But I repeat, do not ever self-diagnose or go to YouTube for therapy or assistance or clarification on some medical condition that you may have. All that said, if you are feeling physically fit and physically up for this, well, I recommend putting on something comfy. Adult onesie is optional. Find yourself an area where you feel safe and you have a lot of room to move, but also grab a bunch of pillows and line them all around you in case you lose your balance and fall. Safety first. The pillows do not have to feature a sexy Nicolas Cage, but it may help. Basically, what you're in for is we're going to do 4 tests, 4 moves, and we're going to try to hold them for 30 seconds apiece. Right, folks, so position number 1, very important, is that you are on a flat, hard surface. Any old floor will do. Be in socks and put your feet close together. Then take your arms, crisscross them across your chest, and stare forward, and try to just hold your balance for 30 seconds. From what I understand, basically what a physical therapist or a doctor is looking for here is they're watching if you're wobbling and if your body is like catching it. Generally speaking, this was the easy one. So now you know if you go to a doctor and you get your balance checked out, this is how they get you. They start off with the easy tests and they just get harder as they go. So for position number 2, we want pretty much the same thing. You want to have your socked, your non-shoed feet close together. You want to be on a hard surface. You want to have your arms crisscrossed across your chest. But now you're going to close your eyes for 30 seconds and just hold your balance. Generally speaking, in a medical atmosphere, there'll be a doctor or a physical therapist right at your side, ready to catch you. Now, if you're doing this along with me at home, I don't know what you're experiencing. I can feel already that my body, it's kind of doing like a swaying, almost like trees sway in the wind. And again, in a medical atmosphere, they're going to be watching what your body is doing. They're watching which direction it's like swaying in, how your body's reacting to catch yourself. In my own personal experience, this is really important data for a physical therapist. When they watch what our body does, they then know how to treat us and offer us beneficial therapy. And now, we're going to get into the tricky ones. I gotta move some pillows around here. These next ones call for us to be standing on an unstable surface. I've seen in some doctor's office, but usually at physical therapy places, what they'll use is one of those thick foam pads that they generally have at those places. I do not have that, but what I do have is I've got 2 pillows, and in the middle of them, I'm going to put this little rounded pillow, which I find is very similar to a lot of the balance things I have played with and worked on in my time battling vertigo. So what we got here for position number 3 is we are going to get on our unstable surface. Again, we are going to have our feet close together. We're going to take our arms, we're going to put them across our chest, and for this test, we will have our eyes open. Again, we're going to hold our balance for 30 seconds is the goal. Eyes open, don't fall on your ass. Now, I think it should be said that if you find yourself kind of wobbling around like I am right now, I can feel it. I don't know what you can see on the camera, but I can feel I'm wobbling like a little bit. And if you feel like you have that, don't immediately doom yourself and say you have major problems in your balance organ. Go to a doctor. Because, this is tricky. It's tricky to, balance on something that is unstable. I think for most people. I'm hoping someone lets me know down in a comment how well they did. Do you have any issues standing on unstable things? Feeling wobbly? If you are, then you're really going to hate me in a few seconds, because the next one, well, it tends to make me giggle. Because even though I've been dealing with this crap for a few years now, it's like I don't know, I'm still surprised that my body just decides to do stuff that I don't want it to do, I guess. And yeah, sometimes I do get upset and angry at my body, but for the most part, I find it's a lot more fun just to laugh at it. So I giggle. Because for position number 4, we are going to get back on to our unstable surface. We're going to make sure that we have our feet close together. Make sure you got some pillows around you, safe places to fall should you fall. Because now we're going to put our arms across our chest, and what we're going to do is we're going to close our eyes, and we are going to try to hold that for 30 seconds. Ideally, you would have someone standing next to you, ready to catch you. But as I've already stated, I'm a daredevil. Closing eyes. Well, see, immediately. Well, see, I really can't hold this long. You can see from every angle this doesn't look good. But did you see that? The second that I close my eyes, my body just loses it.
Well, see, immediately. See, from every angle this doesn't look good.
And it's so interesting to me, the difference between a flat surface and when I'm on a wobbly surface. And I don't know, I find it kind of funny. Watch, I'll do it again. Watch what my body does. See? It's ridiculous. And a little fun fact about me and my vertigo. This doesn't just happen when I close my eyes. I realized that when I come into a room and the light isn't on, my balance is also wanky. I also don't feel so secure going out at night. I rarely do it. But when I do, I have to be really cautious. It's hard to explain. I don't feel stable. But this right here, this position number 4 of the Romberg maneuver, this right here, this is ridiculous. When I close my eyes, what my body starts doing. But that's one reason I wanted to share this with you today. Because working with disabilities that are not so visible, it can be really tricky. Mostly for me, mentally. And what I think is really interesting in regards to like how I feel pretty much every day is this, what you see when I'm on the unstable surface, and you can see that my body is sort of like wobbling. So I want to make it clear, like every day I'm not like moving around like this, but understand that in some way or another my visual is kind of like that, and in here I feel like I am. On my bad days, I feel like gravity is pulling me down and I'm more likely to bump into things and walk into stuff. But most of the time, if I take my time and I'm careful, you might see me on the street, not know anything's wrong. But I do often have this like anxiety that people think I'm drunk because I trip over my own foot once in a while out in the street. Or I crash into things at the supermarket, which by the way happens almost every time I go to the supermarket. A little bump, a little crash into something. It's little, but it's constant for me, and it's annoying, and it makes me like paranoid. But mostly, like the one that goes through my head the most often is like, I'm doing fine. I'm walking down the street. What anybody else in the street doesn't realize is good chance I'm feeling nausea, a little pressure back here in my head where that stupid tumor was. If it's a bad day, I'm feeling like gravity's pulling me down. But nonetheless, it's frustrating. Like I feel like I'm getting it. I feel like I'm getting it. I'm walking like everybody else out here on the street, and then I trip over my own damn feet. And then I'll follow it up with a few steps later as I go to walk into a door, kind of undershooting and banging my shoulder. And it's like, I just feel like, dang, this, like, first off, why do I care? As somebody that's got a loud mouth, tattoos, dyes her hair blue, paints freaky pictures, I never really cared what most people thought about me. But then I became severely disabled. For some reason, I'm preoccupied with this. And I'm telling you this because in the end, I appreciate you being here. Because now that you watch this video, I know that there's a few more people out there that may not judge that chick that looks drunk in the street. And if she is drunk, who cares? Live and let live. But she might not be. I thought about this so much that I've even considered making myself a t-shirt that just says, I'm not drunk, I had a brain tumor. I haven't done it yet. It still could happen. Coming soon. Call me Armstrong merch, perhaps. But yeah, that was my whole purpose of doing this. I just wanted you to have a little peek as to what I'm feeling, what I'm kind of going through with vertigo. That little bit of swaying that you saw is pretty much a constant by now. And I'm sure you can imagine how all of that can just be exhausting. From the dizziness just making you tired, but also like aches and pains, my back, my thighs, just everything constantly trying to catch these little weird movements my body does in the day. But I'm curious how you did. Don't forget to let me know down below in a comment. Let me know. How did you do if you tried doing these Romberg tests? Did you fall on your butt? Don't blame me. Also, if you're watching this video because you had an acoustic neuroma or whatever, you're also dealing with balance issues because of whatever, there's a lot of things that can cause balance issues, folks. But if you're dealing with this stuff, let us know down below in the comments your story, if you'd be so kind to share. Because before I had balance issues, before I got vertigo, honestly, I sit and I think, I don't think I've ever met one person in my life that I'm aware of that had them. So if you also happen to be somebody dealing with balance issues, shout yourself out in the comment. And no, I'm happy that you're here with us. All of that said, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to click like. And I do hope to be coming at you soon. Something else. Sometime soon. Make sure you're subscribed and got that bell rung so you get the notifications when I finally get that done. Know that I appreciate each and every one of you, my beloved members, just a little bit more than the rest of you. But thanks again for being here. Until the next time, wherever you are, I hope that you're over there taking care of yourself. While you're still here, maybe go check out another video. Just saying.